Is there Nisha? Is there the endgame of Aegis? You know, what are all the options?
I think there's always one Aegis. When you're playing an Aether of the White Wings style of deck, you always include one just for the option. There's no reason not to include it. He isn't including Ancient Lion Spirit, instead running only Marcher's Tea Time. So his Aether of the White Wings aren't fully supported in the deck, but it goes all the way down the chain to Priest of the Cudgel, which is still a really nice option to pull off of it.
Well, we'll see if that ends up being the way that things...
This one's for my
Oh, wow. He let the dragon through.
We'll see.
Okay. I don't know if this is a smart call, but of course, as we saw yesterday in interviews, dragon can brick. But
Yeah.
it's not as likely, I don't think, as people think it is.
Didn't keep the Sybil,
Yeah.
and it's understandable to drop Bahamut and Israfil.
By the way, that's a big question for contention that a lot of people struggle with. Do you keep Sybil in your opening hand if you don't have any other ramp spells? In my mind, and through my own gameplay, my own experience, if I'm on the play, I never mulligan Sybil. If I'm on the draw and I don't have any other ramp, I do mulligan her. But that's the way I play. And I find a lot of success with that, but a lot of players don't want to take that risk, and this mulligan worked out just fine. He mulliganed it into an Oracle and a Pure-Hearted Singer. It's good stuff.
Yeah. The Draconic Fervor, the Oracle, Pure-Hearted Singer, all is going to be good. You do need to think about balancing card draw with ramp. Okay.
So got pretty much everything he needs in this matchup, and he's on the play going first here. It really comes down to if SHADOWSHADET can pick the right turns to play defensively. I don't think he has any counter cards. I don't remember seeing Fall from Grace in his neutral force list, but he definitely could be running it.
Oh, man. All of this is looking good.
Oh, wow.
Lots of Sahak Wheel, so if he just gets one Israfil, that Israfil is going to be lasting a very long time.
Yep. This is almost the same exact game we saw last time. Tilting at Windmills can come down very early, but Impartial Strix,
yeah.
coming down to block up the curve here.
Good thing Blazing Breath, or Breath of the Salamander, rather, can reach that high, so this is a good evolve, actually.
Great evolve. Playing around Breath of the Salamander very specifically.
Yeah, but he's going to actually do that with Blazing Breath.
Yep, can do it that way. Can also just play a Saha Quill this turn. He can deal with the board that way if he wants to.
You will. There's no way to have the Sahak will remain. I guess you can card draw first.
You can have it remain. You just play the Saha Quill, and then you you pop down a Bahamut, nix one, and then evolve the Saha Quill over the other.
Oh yeah, it becomes 6/6. I was thinking 4/4. Good.
Yeah, Saha Quill is not tiny.
Good math.
Yeah, I could also draw a card first just to see what you get, but that really loses or diminishes some value that the Pure-Hearted Singer brings with any damage that she'd be dealing, because it doesn't math up properly to take out any of these followers.
All right, Classic Man, considering. Now, do you value, you have Tilting, you have Bahamut. Do you value finding the last piece of the puzzle to have a perfect scenario for yourself?
In this matchup, I don't think you need it. You can play very straightforward in this matchup and just play one threat after another and just win, because it's not like the neutral forest deck is going to build up this board that you can't ever deal with. And you still have one turn before Beauty and the Beast can come down to play your Tilting at Windmills, and you just presented a board that's going to be that has to be dealt with first.
This does play into either the Hector or the Elf Twin Assault, though. The Hector or the Elf Twin Assault.
But neither of them are scary enough on their own to justify not playing the Tilting at Windmills. And again, I've got to beg the question: how do you not ban this deck? How do people not play this deck? I'm so confused, Rainy. I'm so confused.
You must look within yourself to find the answer.
Right?
Okay,
exactly
goes
right.
for the card draw option. And I think this is totally a Tilting. The Pure-Hearted Singer is not there.
Wow.
Wants to make it as threatening as possible.
Yeah. Don't play your Tilting.
Please.
I've got a 3/4 Pure-Hearted Singer.
I beg of you.
That is a very interesting evolve there. I wonder what the counterplay was for. Maybe just so that he couldn't play Tilting at Windmills and a Blazing Breath to clear out the entire board, and it'll give him some more consistency to deal damage over time.
It's entirely possible. Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate it. Pre-evolving against Dragon is like the class you do it against. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now he's going to get 3 damage off of it. No Beauty and the Beast.
No, that's rough. If he had Beauty and the Beast here, I'd say he'd have a pretty good chance. Hector's not bad, though. Comes up the board.
Nice.
Of course, we know that's not going to be a big deal with so many Sahak Wills in hand. And Bahamut's, for that matter.
Yep, going into turn 9 next turn. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Sahak Wheel pulling in the Bahamut does not give Bahamut Storm.
Okay, well.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, no, it does not. The Sahak Will have Storm, though, so
Yeah.
the Bahamut can come down, clear the
only
ward.
cards played from hand.
From hand, correct. Yes, and with Queen of the Dread Sea drawn, it means there is lethal next turn coming for Classic Man, so SHADOWSHADET needs to do something. I just don't know what that something is.
Pure-Hearted Seeker Storm.
Did you like it?
Oh,
He's still no match for Mr. Dragon.
okay.
Has the Beauty and the Beast now, but it's a little late.
Is there any ward?
Actually, maybe it's not lethal, so we're looking at 16 plus an Evo is 18. Never mind, yeah, that's lethal. It's exactly lethal.
Yeah, because the Dread Sea can swing.
This ends here.
The Bahamut
Bahamut
can
can
swing
swing.
with an evolution.
No shame.
And what else do you put there?
You don't have to.
Yeah.
That's it. That's enough.
7 plus 9, 16, 18. Exact lethal.
Why do you not ban this deck? Why do you not play this deck?
Israfil off the top as well. It is
so
an interesting
consistent.
dynamic. Israfil doing more damage than Bahamut now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Tilting Dragon is pretty good. He goes with the Bahamut play. But make sure to swing with the Dread Sea first. Okay.
Yeah. If you don't swing with the Dread Sea, then the Bahamut will nuke it, and then you don't deal that extra damage. SHADOWSHADET waving his hands up like, yep.
Hey, at least the Beauty and the Beast stays.
Yes, the Beauty and the Beast does not lose in this combat.
Whoa.
There it is. 9 damage to face. And Classic Man easily takes the first win and has to fall back to his mid-shadow.
That's right, and Mid-Shadow having to win 2 matches, especially against Havencraft and Neutral Force. I don't know. These are 2 decks that have proven time and time again to be good against Shadowcraft.
Mm-hmm.
So getting the easy win with Dragon, but then again, we even talked about this in the top end of the bracket. The Shadowcraft deck might be the crux of Classic Man. He's got 2 good decks, and Shadowcraft, he's got to win one. It's what failed him last time.
That's all you gotta do.
I'm going to keep negging on Shadowcraft the whole time, by the way.
Mother, father, come on.
That's why Luna's so upset.
Time for me to prove myself.
Everybody just talks poorly of her.
That's untrue. Everybody says she's OP all the time since the beginning of this expansion. Best deck, always the best. Can't lose. In my experience, not so great. Like, the fact of the matter is, it's true. It is good against the field, but it is also not great against anything. It doesn't, like you said earlier, it just doesn't have any of those matchups where you're just like, yes, I'm glad I have Shadow in this matchup.
Yeah. Which is important. Definitely want to have those edges.
Draw looking a little slow for SHADOWSHADET, but does have an Elf Twins Assault to get him back on the proactive side here.
Okay. So, Beauty and the Beast can actually be very tough for Shadow because things like Necro Assassin or Soul Squasher or Lurching Corpse, none of that really works.
Yep, you kind of have to have a board built up before it, as always, against Beauty and the Beast.
You need to do things like Bellinus Pings. It's actually not a lot.
There's not a lot. Of course, Beauty and the Beast has to be drawn. That's always the kind of give and take with the Neutral Forest deck. Do you have the Elf Twins Assaults? Do you have the Beauty and the Beast? Do you have the Sahak combos on the appropriate turns?
Yeah.
Horses to the
It always feels like to me Neutral Forest is just one step too complicated for it to be consistent. You know? 'Cause it feels like, man, it'd be really nice if you could have the Elf Twin Assault at the turns appropriate. It'd be really nice if you could have the Strix at exactly this time. It'd be really nice if you could have the Hector. And all of those have to kind of work to give you the scenario where Beauty and the Beast shines.
Now, in saying that, SHADOWSHADET is drawing the cards that he needs to. So drew the Beauty and the Beast that have the Elf Twins Assault. Has card draw.
You're done for.
Interesting, going with the board clear plan. You know what? I've got to say, after watching it for a few weeks now, the board clear plan against Shadowcraft, you just do it as early and as often as possible, is probably the best route to go. If you want to learn how to beat Shadowcraft, clear their board hard, even if it looks awkward. Just keep it clear.
Yeah, because it gets exponentially bad once the Catacomb hits. And then that can change the way that your game plays. It also justifies a lot of Andrew Alpha's kinds of plays, right?
Like if you present a board that's really hard to deal with, and they Andrew Alpha's evolution and they can't do much with it, then you're fine.
But if you're not valuing out, and you leave a lot of extra skellies on the board, then all of a sudden the Andrew Alphas combined with the skeletons can reach farther than you expect. They get the free card draw. The board is still there. Their Catacombs are effective, and then the Ector is effective. They're building shadows.
I don't know if I like this line of play from Classic Man. He had the option to zombie party down this Pure-Hearted Singer. Instead, he's going to trade his entire board for it. And he has the Prince Catacomb in his hand that he could have set up for next turn. I mean, of course he does have the Skeleton Prince. But that kind of forces him into one line of play.
We'll see. I think the goal here really is to kind of... I think you can even just leave Lurching Corpse, right? It's not relevant to the Beauty and the Beast damage. It can't even be sacrificed to destroy the Beauty and the Beast, so you take that tempo advantage, put these 2 cards there that can block for the Beauty and the Beast as it comes down, eliminate any cards that you have that may be able to swing up to the Beauty and the Beast.
And I think, yeah, realistically the only play here is Skeleton Prince. I mean, he can zombie party and Prince Catacomb this turn if he wants to.
You're breathing too
Oh, wow.
Okay. This is going to get tough.
You know what? I don't mind this play. I don't mind this play at all. This secures the board before the Beauty and the Beast turn. You're not really going to get better use out of Lurching Corpse and Necro Assassin against the deck, at least in the mid-game.
So the math, he's going to get the 3-1 off the Skeleton Prince, right? So he can, or you don't have Shadows to Ector, right? So if you play Beauty and the Beast, 10 down to 7, 7 down 2 is 5, 3 evolve. So you can actually take down the Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, I like this. I like this. Now, what this does mean, though, is that if SHADOWSHADET can get to the later parts of the game, Classic Man did just blow a lot of his options to take things down, like Israfil and Zeus's and stuff like that.
It is not desire.
It's love.
Yeah, but it's still good. It basically forces your opponent to deal with it.
Evolution Orb and almost the full board.
No shame.
No shame. No shame, Beauty and the Beast says.
I wonder why.
Because a lot of people would call him, you know, big and overpowered and things like that, and he's just like, you know what? No shame.
That's what it is.
That's just what it is.
That's how the Beauty and the Beast rolls.
That's right. Doesn't care about you. No shame. I am what I am.
If only there's some way to reduce the cost of Beauty and the Beast.
Get out of here. Get out. No thank you.
My balance suggestions are always the best.
They're the absolute worst. If you could play Beauty and the Beast earlier than turn 6, then decks might not even have ways to deal with it.
Behold the greatness that is I.
Yeah. Easy.
I like this line. This allows 2 damage. Still sets up for a nice Ektar board following up.
Yeah. Fantastic turn.
Oh, right on command. As if it were preordained. Israfil off the top of the deck.
Sahakwel. Israfel. So what is it going to leave behind? 1 Skelly?
1 Skelly. Which is not bad at all. Man, that combo. Every time. Every time. Turn 7 every time. It's pretty good.
We still have yet to see a Beauty and the Beast swing face.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast has a hard time hitting face. The only time we did it was a mistake that the opponent let him do that, and he lost the game because of it. So you can't actually elect for your opponent to want to do that.
All records of Beauty and the Beast swing face are lost because everybody just dies.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. They can't.
Nobody survives.
Nobody survives it.
Okay.
Zombie party
It's a
time.
good turn. Running out of Sahak Wheel here. You still have 1 Evolution Orb, but this is such an important turn. We see how important it is to save this Evolution Orb for the late game.
Oh, yeah. If you can save this for the second Israfil, you're doing a lot of good work for yourself. Now, the question is SHADOWSHADET, and this is exactly where he's slumping over. Do I use my Evolution Orb here? Do I save it for next turn? I feel like he can save it. He's not really in a tight spot.
If the Ector comes down, then he takes 8 damage.
But then he can clear the board and gain 4, which is, I think, completely fine trade-off. Because it still gets you to that point where you're over the 10 hump. You're still at 11 at that point.
Yeah, and you have an Israfil to be followed up by anything Jungle Warden or Zeus, which can be backbreaking.
I think that's perfectly fine. Maybe even install another Kai'Sa just so you have more options. Although that gets kind of scary with a bunch of carrots. Then you suffer into that place where you could start overdrawing.
Yeah. I think probably the no evolve into Israfil evolve into Jungle Warden or Zeus is the way that I would go.
All right, looking like he's saving it. I like it. Oh man, and then the Soul Squasher off the top for the Israfil evolve next turn. Perfect answer.
Still does not solve the issue of Zeus's and Jungle Wardens.
It's true.
Abound.
It's true.
Especially because it's not like Mid-Shadow has King Elephant, right? It's not going to swing past the wards. So you're actually just going to have to turn after turn deal with 10 defense, 10 defense, 10 defense.
Yeah, that's true. It's a brief reprieve, the Soul Squasher is. That's right.
Show him the money.
That's right. What's up? My name's Israfil. I'm here. I do a lot. Check it out. You normally don't get to see me played.
Yeah.
But now you are.
If only you could de-evolve Israfil.
Stop it. Yeah, come on, man.
Just the most brain-dead ways to solve problems.
Stop it. What if when you attack this card, it de-evolves?
Okay. This is going to get tough. I almost feel like you should lead with the Zeus because it's harder to push past the Jungle Warden for Shadowcraft, right? Whereas Zeus can be eliminated by a Lurching Corpse effect.
You've always got to do the math with Ektar, because if you just play a Zeus here, you run. I mean, Lurching Corpse just runs into it and it dies. So you got to be careful.
I think he has to fall back to the Jungle Warden.
I think that's the only play, honestly. Technically speaking, if there wasn't lethal sitting on board, he could have leaned on a Beauty and the Beast to start with and then started protecting with wards, but he doesn't have that kind of time. The Ektar is lethal on board right now. But, I mean, Bahamut's a good option too, but then Bahamut dies and then there's 2 1/1s left over. And that's not the worst option.
I think you... Oh, yeah, that's risking Aisha.
That is also risking Aisha.
But if you play Jungle Warden, Lurching Corpse runs in, one of the Jungle Wardens is down immediately.
The other one dies to the other token makers, and you take 2.
You have shadows, so you can, summon 2 zombies.
That's still lethal to Aisha.
Yeah.
You've got to clear with these Jungle Wardens. You can't go all face.
Uh-oh. I think he lost.
Yeah. Well, Aisha's not in hand.
Well, if he Ectors, does he lose?
I don't think so.
So that goes down to 4. Removes one of the Jungle Wardens. You get 1 zombie off of this, right? So you can swing in the 1 zombie and the 2 damage, so you have 4 plus 5, 9.
No.
It's very close.
Very close, but not lethal. Without the clear, though, it means that it's going to be very hard to set up. Well, actually, maybe not. Maybe the next Zeus is good enough.
Interesting. Would you have played the Bahamut?
I think I would have steered a little bit safer and played Bahamut, because then I got to see what option my opponent wanted to play after that, and then led into the Jungle Warden. But this isn't a bad play. This allows for essentially a better top deck in the form of another Jungle Warden to just end the game immediately. So it really just depends on how you want to flow the game, right? So Bahamut's like the safest option. It means that you can't lose, essentially. Well, that's not true. We just talked about that. If you play the Bahamut, you can lose to an Aisha.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually that's not the safest play. So this is actually the only play. We know the Zeus was bad because of the Lurching Corpse. This is the only play you could have made.
Yeah. Well, you still lose to the Aisha here, right?
Technically speaking, but you give yourself the chance to win with a top deck, whereas the Bahamut doesn't.
Yeah. Interesting. Did not go for the Ectors. Guarding against the Bahamut. But this actually makes, especially because you don't have Lurching Corpse anymore, this does make the Zeuses much more effective.
Yeah, you can't play Bahamut into this board because it actually just doesn't do anything.
Yeah. But now you have a bunch of chumpy cards against Zeus. You could buff them up by Ector. But even then, that's a lot of cards thrown in. Oh! Okay, this game just Classic Man would love to see that a turn earlier.
Yeah, that is rough.
Oh boy.
That is rough.
So if you throw in an Ector here,
it doesn't matter. You would need 3 of the attackers to get through, and it's not possible with this board.
This head can't be taken.
so he just does the Ector. And SHADOWSHADET knows the outcome of this is not a happy time. 4 plus 3
close
plus
game.
3.
What a close game.
Wow. We talked about it. The wards back to back to back to
Yeah,
back.
it's tough to deal with.
The flexibility of having the Jungle Wardens as well as the Zeus.
Very great play. SHADOWSHADET picking the right option from the get-go, leading with the Jungle Warden into Zeus. Classic Man not having the options to take this to a game 3.
We'll see how Summit Temple performs, but it really feels like for SHADOWSHADET, the neutral force is like a liability. It seems like that is the difficult obstacle to try to get past, right?
We've talked about neutral forest ad nauseum over the last couple of months, and neutral decks are big dum-dum decks in my mind. You play a big dum-dum every single turn. You hope it's gonna be enough.
The right big dum-dum.
Yeah, the right big dum-dum, and hope it's good enough. And I don't think that it gives you enough options. You have strong plays, but not a lot of options. It's just like, here's a big dum-dum, can you deal with it? Here's a big dum-dum, can you deal with it? Like, the end. But now we get to see Shadowcraft against Havencraft, and this is the one that I was talking about. And Havencraft is going second, exactly where it wants to be. I feel like this game shouldn't be close. And that is my final opinion.
Ooh. All you need is a Summit Temple now, and your early game is...
If Shadowcraft wins this game, I will shut my mouth up about Shadowcraft.
Okay, what time is it? You heard it here first.
That's right. No more naysaying on Shadowcraft if it wins this game.
12:33 p.m.
If it loses this game, I'm not going to stop talking about Shadowcraft. So you guys better hope. You guys better hope.
No! Food should act like food.
All right. Do you Gemstone or do you Snow White first?
Always Snow White first.
Oh, the Summit Temple.
Summit Temple's very nice, too. That makes a perfect 1-2 play with the Summit Temple into the Gemstone next turn, and the Snow White can start clearing the 2 defense followers.
Yeah. This is looking good.
This is looking good.
A lot of zombie parties, though. And we got removal in the Necro Assassin, so I think there are options. The only thing is, again, no card draw. So
now,
this is basically the life that Classic Man has to live.
Just look at this turn real quick. I just want everybody right now to look at this turn right now. Just look at it. Witness its beauty.
Okay.
Crystals of snow shimmer in the night.
Yeah.
I'm stuffed.
And it doesn't get removed from the table. Get out of here, Shadowcraft. Get out. You stink. You're a stinker.
There's blackened scripture, too, so just playing the Lurching Corpse is not going to help.
Yep. Now, of course, we don't see a Priest of the Cudgel yet, but 2 cards drawn off the top means that it's automatically going to happen. But it doesn't even need to because there's no board. There's no board.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Another Gemstone Carapace.
And the Ether of the White Wing to pull a Priest of the Cudgel if need be, because, again, he's skipping the 5 slot for Marcher's Tea Time, or he can just play the Marcher's Tea Time, outright. He's got 2 of them in hand over the course of the next 2 turns. Use up Evolution Orbs in that way.
Yeah. What is the best way to play out this scenario? That turtle's about to do 5.
That turtle's about to do up to 7 because of Summit Temple. So realistically what you have to do is try to deal with it. Can you? You can if you play a Goblin into a Necro Assassin. You can evolve something and use a zombie party. I think the Necro Assassin is probably the safest play.
Save your Evolution Orbs. Make use of a 1-drop.
Here's the tough part. You could play the Aisha too. Aisha's perfectly fine here. It'll win the trade, and you don't have to use an Evolution Orb. That might honestly that might be the best play because technically Havencraft would probably have to evolve into this to take care of it, or use something like a Blackened Scripture and slow their curve down.
doesn't feel great. Looks like the March Hare's evolved to ping.
And this is always the question. Do you go face with the ping and use the body? In this case, with Summit Temple, you almost never want to use the body to trade.
Probably ping the Aisha.
Yep.
Yeah, but that one defense, that's all the difference. That saved a lot of damage on Classic Man's side.
Yep. And the other Gemstone Carapace coming out. Yet another good tempo play. But the answer here,
You're breathing too
really
hard.
good answer.
Yep. These are the exact options that we pointed out for Classic Man. Big use of removal here through Zombie Party, Necro Assassins, and Lurching Corpses. And so far his draws have been okay. Has another Demon Eater in hand, so he can kind of extend that gas.
Ooh, and an Aegis drawn, so won't have to wait for an Aether of the White Wing to play that card, which is always good. Okay, and a nice little on-curve play here. Then he can Blacken Scripture, wrap this turn up.
Wow. Even has Tribunal.
Yep. Not the animated Blacken Scripture. I mean, SHADOWSHADET has not played enough Havencraft yet. Because that is one of the basic cards you get for free.
Or maybe he just didn't mind.
That's fair. If you have no other animated cards, maybe you just don't want to stack it with your Blacken Scriptures and things like that.
Okay, well, clear board again. And we're getting into the period of time where Heavenly Knights can be pulled off the top.
John, Salvation can come down to clear boards. Dark Johns can clear boards. March Hare's Tea Time will still do a really good job at clearing boards. Aether of the White Wing kind of shut off for a turn or so here because at the 6th slot, I believe he is playing Judge of Retribution, which you don't necessarily want to pull.
Yeah. He has the Heavenly Aegis in hand, so that's not going to be tutored by the Aether. Which can hurt in some cases. You have card draw. Ooh.
Priest pretty good here.
Yeah. Can get rid of the card draw and the Catacomb effect here. I feel like that's value that you can't give up.
I see your weakness.
Don't even necessarily need to attack with this either, but because of the Pure-Hearted Singer. Clear the whole board.
Yeah, the Pure-Hearted Singer is doing 2 right now. Okay, it's doing 1.
No. Only Havencraft followers. Remember, we
that's
learned that.
right.
We learned that.
Yeah,
only
that's right.
Havencraft
Only
followers.
followers.
Yeah.
You're right.
Does not affect the neutrals.
Yeah, there's a lot of lines. Only on your turn. Only on Havencraft followers.
Yep. So realistically, if you can get the Havencraft followers down, and this is a mistake that I see a lot of people make, if you turn a 5-something into a 5-1 on Havencraft when they have Summit Temple, just say go because it's a 1-1.
Yep.
That's all you have to look at it as.
The caveat is if the Havencraft player has Fall from Grace, they can give you a little bit of the
Sure, I guess. Fringe scenarios. Oh my goodness.
Do it.
Jean. Do it. Either Jean's pretty good here.
Card draw. Ooh.
Not bad, but you never want to play that into a Lurching Corpse.
Yeah. I would probably do Dark John since you have the Summit Temple down. Feels a little less valuable than the Light John.
Yeah, plus Light John can hit bigger followers if you need to. Tough call, though. I mean, realistically, he has a bevy of options here. He could play. I mean, he could just want to jam face. I doubt it. He could play a Tribunal and hope, but then he can't really do anything after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm liking Dark John here.
Probably Dark John. You're gonna have to wait a turn.
Okay, he prefers the bigger body. I guess it is a cheaper effect as well, so he can do something alongside of Dark John later in the game.
Yeah, but Dark John doesn't build you damage, it loses you damage in this case. Because it hurts your own followers. Okay, what is the turn setup for Classic Man? He has 2 Ectors. Nothing really to challenge on board. Has a Prince Catacomb, can't proc his Zombie Party.
This is just a no-dial turn. Get some damage in, set up another threat. There's not much else to do, unfortunately. He could save it for next turn and play it alongside the Prince Catacomb, but that would mean that he's playing an Ektar just to fill the board this turn, which never feels good.
Yeah.
He could see it as one of his only options to try to get ahead in this game, though. I can definitely support an Ektar play here. If it were me, I'd probably play Odile.
This head can be taken.
He's going to take the Ektar route.
It's definitely not a bad play. Fill the board, get some extra damage done, force your opponent to have another answer.
Want to play?
Oh.
This is the consideration I was talking about saving the Light John instead of the Dark John.
Yeah, now you have 2 followers that you can't push through.
Yeah.
As opposed to just 1.
And this is a turn where you can't just pop down an Aegis. You can honestly just play a Heavenly Knight here. And you can use it defensively if you want to.
Yeah.
I feel like that one small play, though, is so huge. Like, keeping the Dark John instead of the Light John means that he can't clear the board as well as he might have been able to.
If you Heavenly Knight, swing into the Ektar, evolve the March Hares.
Yeah, you clear off most of the board here. He's not in a bad spot. It just means that he has to use his Evolution Orb on something that's not a Heavenly Knight or a Heavenly Aegis.
Yeah, Heavenly Knight will be taken down by the Odile. But because of the ward, the Odile won't necessarily be able to swing into
You're
it.
done for.
No, you can still have the last remaining zombie swing into the Heavenly Knight.
He could just attack this into the Ektar and then play a Dark John as well, and it would clear the entire board. A lot of options. Going for the 50-50. I don't like this play at all. Oh, he's got 2 Tribunals.
Yep.
Never mind. Okay. Okay, that scared me for a second. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I might have to be eating my words if this deck loses right now.
Okay. Well, the options are still very similar for Classic Man.
And with the board locked up a little bit more, these options get better and better. Like the Ektar this turn is a little bit better than the Ektar last turn.
This head can't be taken.
Fills up the board, still hard to deal with. I don't feel like SHADOWSHADET is using his options to their fullest value, though. I think he's losing out by small margins turn after turn. He's definitely not in a bad place, but he could be in a much better one than he is right now.
Doesn't have the Evolve Orb for the Aegis anymore either.
And now none of his options clear the board, whereas he could have cleared the board last turn with his Evolve and the Dark John, and this turn with the Tribunals. Now he has no option to full clear this.
Card draw. Okay.
That's got to be the option.
Yeah, that's beginning to feel like the only thing left.
Yeah.
But now that just opens you up to the Odile.
Yeah, but it doesn't really. Because you still have to lose the zombie in that trade-off. Because it survives with 2 defense, you have to jam into it with the zombie so that you can hit into the Odile, or with the Odette with your Odile.
Yeah.
From the heavens above, justice is delivered.
Nice. Does a 7.
Okay.
Could also just zombie party here. What's wrong with that?
I think Zombie Party would be good because it sets up against the Aegis, especially given that there are 2 Tribunals out. That's probably the biggest way that Aegis will come down at this stage in the game is the Tribunals popping.
Yeah. Okay. Now this will set up for a really good Dark John play. But the trade-off because of the Lurching Corpse, as always.
Lurching Corpse is always there.
But I still think SHADOWSHADET is not going to pass up that value. Especially because next turn he has the Tribunals popping, yeah. This leads into the nice Aegis endgame.
I think you have to. Not a lot of shadows on the side of Classic Man either, so...
Well, it's about to go up here.
Yeah.
And you have to stay above 10. You have to. We know
Which
this.
the Odile is going to make very difficult.
Yep. Odile comes down, sets to 9. That means a top deck from Classic Man is all he needs into an Aisha. All he needs.
Where's the test of strength when you need it?
Oh, test of strength.
What do you
Oh, wow. Decides not to go with the
Interesting. I feel like
guaranteed damage.
Knight could be very good here.
Yep. Knight's a good option here. Judge of Retribution into Tribunal is okay, because that'll clear everything but 1 skeleton. And you get to draw a card.
Yeah, but everything except for 1 skeleton opens you up to the Aisha top deck.
It does.
And we haven't seen Aisha in a long time. There are only 20 cards left.
Yeah. I guess you're right. The only safe play here is the Heavenly Knight. And then you can play the Pure-Hearted Singer for some card draw on top of it.
Heavenly Knight would. Interesting. Okay, if you. Yeah, you could Heavenly Knight and draw. This was a Tribunal turn, so you're probably not going to be able to play Aegis if you haven't been able to play it now.
Right.
Man, see, this is why if you were able to have Ether, right, you could do Tribunal Ether the White Wing and then pull out the Aegis, but you have the thing in hand.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I feel like if he had played this game differently, things would have been a lot safer for him. But he chose to play, I don't know, he chose different options than I would have on his turn defensively, and it put him into a spot that makes this endgame a little bit harder. He's still not in the worst position, because of course we know there is no Aisha in hand. This Ektar is going to put in a lot of work, though.
3/3/4 needs to get board space. If he throws in one skeleton, if he throws in 2 skeletons down to 6, throws in the Ektar, he needs to do 1 zombie plus that. I don't know. It's kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah,
the math doesn't work out super
the
well.
Soul Ring kind of hurts it.
Yeah. 8
It's true.
defense is a lot.
Because you don't have space for both the zombies right now.
Yeah. You will gain 1 skeleton back by the Catacomb swinging in, so if you reduce this thing by 3, that goes down to 5. Skeleton that comes back 3/2. No, that's still the same.
Yeah, it doesn't work
8
out
defense
really well.
is a really weird number for this
It's high.
board state. Interesting too. If he played the Pure-Hearted Singer, he could have played the Pure-Hearted Singer first and then the Ether, right? Then it would've- oh no, is it only Havencraft followers that get the buff?
I believe that's every
That
follower.
costs less number of play, or then give all other allied followers.
Yeah.
+1/+1. So he could have had the Pure-Hearted Singer with a 3.
He could have, but he could have also drawn the Heavenly Knight with it, which would have meant he couldn't have pulled it with the Ether, so it's a
Yeah.
trade-off. I think not getting the 1 defense is a little bit safer than not pulling the ward when you need to.
Yep.
Ooh, that was not bad. That was not
You
bad
can
at all.
play it.
He
You
can clear
can't play it
board.
alongside anything.
Yeah, but he can clear the board with it.
Can he?
Yeah. Remember, Aether of the White Wing attacks for 3.
That's right. Summer Temple.
Summa Temple.
The Summer Temple.
Did you like it?
Oh, it's good stuff.
Just goes for the card draw.
I don't like this. Pure-Hearted Singer not attacking the Prince Catacomb. Okay, different option. And then he's going to Tribunal. Not bad. This
Okay,
opens
the
him up to
Tribunal
Aisha,
setting
though.
up does mean that.
Oh
you're-
no, only 8 shadows. Shadow Denial.
Oh god.
This does open up an Odile play. Not a great Odile play, but it is an Odile play.
Odile. Start card drawing even more. You just need that Aisha to show up right here. And even then, the Heavenly Knights could jam you up.
That's right, and all of these followers have
Don't let
to
the
be
light
removed
blind you.
for it to matter.
Okay, just 1 damage left in this follower here. Okay, do you put down the ward?
This is the scary moment, right? This is like, what option do you use? I
If
feel
you
like
Jean, you increase the chances of Aisha showing up.
yes. Plus,
But
you
it doesn't
get
matter.
them 2 10 shadows.
That's actually a fake concern because the Andrialpha is going to swing in anyways.
That's true.
So that's not a concern for yours.
Let's see. Safest play right now is to start with the Pure-Hearted Singer and see what you draw. That's the safest start, because anything you're going to do after that costs 7 or less.
Yeah.
I
But
don't-
you're already maxed out on cards. I guess it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, what are the options that you are considering as your best here? I don't.
You
I don't
also
know if there is
board
a
lock
better one.
yourself if
Yeah.
you pure-hearted, which I don't know how much that matters.
That's true.
You could throw the ether away before you John
Mhm.
or whatever.
I shall guide you
But
to glory.
but you get the defense back.
That's right.
And then you get to attack for more.
Okay.
Mean.
Yep. I
Do
think
you
just go
draw
for the
here?
prayer.
Because that locks the
No,
board now.
No.
Oh no!
It's not an Aisha.
Oh no! Wait, so there's 6 damage
There's
on
only
board here.
13 available for next turn. There's only
The
13
Heavenly Knight
available.
will guard SHADOWSHADET as he continues to
Yep.
put pressure.
And I think that will be enough. And then I get to make my claim real. Ah.
Oh no. This game was close though.
It was close. I feel like SHADOWSHADET could have made a couple of better plays in the mid game,
Uh-huh.
but even with the plays that he made, Shadow not good enough.
Yeah.
Not good enough.
Heavenly Knight is going to drop. I don't think... Yeah, you don't have the board space. You don't want to trade in.
From the heavens above, justice is delivered.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's only 5 damage on board. So there's no way to push past this ward either.
Even with a lucky ping.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say this is just go face. You have 13 damage here. You're 1 off. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I was right.
Where is the Aisha?
Get
More
outta
than
here,
half
Aisha.
your deck.
I am so happy.
He used one of them.
He did use one. He had 2 earlier to get himself some advantage. So he did have access to the Aisha.
Was I helpful to you?
Oh. He went for the half-board trade and got punished for it. But I don't think that changes the outcome of this
I don't
match.
think it matters.
I think he has all his Ectors are gone, right? Yeah, that's not gonna help. That's it.
He's played at least 2 of them.
That's it. Has to tap out, and SHADOWSHADET wins it. Oh
That's
my
right.
God! Did he have a finger sword thing?
Something. He had his anime end sequence right there. And Classic Man will be the first one eliminated from our tournament. Again, $250 prize pool.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Classic Man. An incredible run this season, getting to the top 8, making a name for himself. Hopefully he's here to stay. I want to see him again.
Yeah. SHADOWSHADET is able to continue and extend his presence in the tournament and gets him into the 900.